Okay, we on air. Got a little thing I want to share with you. Speaking from the ghost page of Matthew J. Glasper Sr., where I am, the one and only Matthew J. Glasper Sr., founder and organizer of Holy Tape Karate and the organizer of King and Queen Corporation. Well, I am a martial artist that have studied several different arts. And what I'm trying to give back unto the world is history and truth and revelation of my study down through the years of 47 years plus. This uniform originally was a full robe. This uniform is a priest robe. This uniform derived out of Buddhism priesthood training that the priests of the Hebrew would take from the age of 13 to 16 years old, and they would train them self-defense. Today we call it martial art, judo, aikido, kung fu, or whatever. But it would train them to be men, train them to take care of their family and to protect the community. Protect the community. That's what children was trained to do. They would be there divinely up under the priest's control for 3 years. They would never leave. King David, Solomon, all of them went through that training. The Hebrew monk traveled back and forth in and out of the United States before it was known as the United States, when its owner was ran by Indians. And they made trade. They exchanged religion, they exchanged belief, they exchanged food, and the way you grow food, and the way you take care of yourself. It was, and it is in history, written in the Indian history, it was the Hebrew priests that trained the Indian, which became known as the Indian monks. The voodoo monk, which derived out of Buddhism. Buddhism was the Hebrew religion. Buddhism means I believe in the supreme God, or I believe in the I am God. That is Buddhism. Voodoo, which means that I believe that if I die, I may come back as something else, or I believe in the elements of God, which is different. Now, the Hebrew priests then teach them that that was something that the Indian already believed in. But they took it a step further by shaving of their head and also separating themselves from the rest of the Indian, and began to practice what we call today martial art. It was the voodoo monk Indian that taught the Korean. It was the Korean that taught the Japanese. It was the Japanese that taught the American. Guess what? And it went in a 360 degree and came right back into the Hebrew priest's hand. Sisters and brothers, that's us. Not to be funny, not to be ignorant, but that is us. That's who we are. That's where our bloodline comes from. That's our blood that runs through our veins. That's why it's very hard to defeat us in physical athletics, because we programmed and gifted from birth, from years of centuries, over 100,000 years ago. Now, I want to just add that the history to you. Now, MMA, listen, UFC, young men, guys, champions, when you go to a judo trainer, tell him to teach you how to fall. I never teach a person, show a person a throw until they learn how to fall. Once I teach you how to fall, then I'll show you the throw. Why? Because I don't want you to injure yourself in the process of me teaching you. Now, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, ground defense. You must learn how to fall. Jiu-Jitsu have a way to fall. It's for recovery. What's recovery? In other words, when I'm thrown in a Jiu-Jitsu throw, my mind doesn't stop fighting because it's automatic begin counting technique. So it never stops fighting. In a judo throw, when I'm thrown in a judo throw, my mind goes into defense attack because I'm being thrown. It never stopped fighting. MMA, UFC, every one of you guys that have went to a trainer, most of you don't know how to fall. So when you thrown or you swept off your feet, you stop fighting. And most of you, it have caused you to lose the fight. You was winning. What happened? He threw me. That caused you to lose? Yes. Why? Because your mind quit fighting because it didn't know what to do in the midst of the throw. If the person that trained you in Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido and Judo had taught you how to fall, your mind would have never stopped fighting. And 9 times out of 10, you would have won the fight. Because when your body hit that floor, you would have automatically kept fighting. Because there's many sweeping techniques is on the floor. There's a young man by the name of Donnell Casale. Back in the 60s, in the early 70s, the referee would come in, and now he's still on Facebook. You can text him up on this to bear witness to what I'm saying. The referee would come in and stop the fight to get him off the floor. Why? Because what the referee was saying to the fighter, you is no match for that man down on that floor. He was just that good when he hit the floor. It didn't make a difference. It was better for you to have him standing on his feet than to try to attack him while he was on the floor. MMA, UFC, the same thing. You're supposed to be the same way. When you go down, your mind should be still fighting. Your mind should be just like a cat. Do you ever see a cat decide when she falls? Just give up? No, the cat feet is in motion. And that cat is making sure that her feet is underneath her or him when they go down to the ground. Because the cat doesn't give up. You have to be like the cat. You don't quit fighting. And they have cost you. And by the time you looked up, there's a man dropping down in your face with an elbow or with his fist. Because your mind quit fighting. Not your fault. It's the man that trained you. He left out something, or she left out something, and that was to teach you how to fall and recover. Most of the time, as soon as you hit the floor, once you down, you trying to get up. You're going. They'll taught you judo. They'll taught you jiu-jitsu. You should be able to stay there and wish that that man would try to come down there on you. The most destructive knockout I ever seen as a teenager was a heavyweight black belt coming down on top of a lightweight to score a punch to the face with a reverse punch. Guess what he met? He met his foot. The young man tucked and pulled his foot into his chest and waited. When he got that, he released a Makagato heel kick direct underneath the chin, knocking him out senseless. They had to take him to the hospital. Why? because the young man never stopped fighting. The young man was taught how to fall. The young man was taught to fight from the ground. Even in mid-air, your mind don't stop fighting. You tuck, you bring your leg in. Why would one leg be up and one leg is cocked and out? It's a sizzle sweep. It is a sizzle. During my time, we call it either entrapment, and as you got older, you call it a sucker move. Because if you was crazy enough to walk in on a scissor and you didn't recognize a scissor, it's because you never was taught in that. You might be a straight out karate guy, or you might be a straight out kung fu guy. No, they're not taught to fall. Because most of them is not taught judo or aikido. Most of them, not all now, most of them. Because there are several styles that does teach it. Now, will Taekwondo teach falling or break fall? I don't know. But I do know this. They do teach judo, throws, and sweeps. I know that much. Now, you have to learn how to fall. You need to go back to the person that trained you and ask them to teach you how to fall. We're going to go through a couple of basics. I'm here. I'm being swept off of my feet. I'm falling. As I fall, I take control. I switch direction instead of falling on my back. I go to my side. Why? I'm preparing myself to counterattack on my opponent as he comes down to attack me. Me being a big kicker, I'm ready for a roundhouse kick or a side kick or jamming and locking the leg, causing him to fall back the opposite direction and quickly moving towards him to attack. You must learn how to fall. Again, what if I'm thrown to the opposite side? No problem, big deal. Same thing. Scissor move, front position. Make a gato to the body or to the face. It does not matter. I never stopped fighting because I went down. You got reverse scissor. What you want your attacker to do is come within that range. When he come in that range, that's when you take his leg out from under him. His body is falling. As his body is falling, you dropping an axe kick. By the time his head hit the ground, the heel of your feet should be hitting him directly in the face. Again, learning how to fall. What if I'm swept both feet away from under me? Suppose I'm going this direction. Same thing. Nose coverage. I don't leave my feet out here so he can jump right between my legs. I bring them in. They goes with me. I'm preparing to do battle. And in my mind, I'm still fighting. I give him a sucker move. I give him 1 foot. He falls for it. I spin and catch him with the second. It's all done in one motion. Give, kick. Give, kick. Give, kick. You must learn how to fall. I guarantee it will up your game from 15 to 25% overnight. I guarantee it will up your game from 15 to 25%. But when a man is thrown and they have no idea where they're going to land and how they're going to land, your mind freaks out and it freezes like a knot until the body hit the ground. Your mind should have been preparing and still fighting and changing your body in a form and a movement so it could be caught and respond back to the thrower. What if I'm thrown forward? If I'm thrown forward, no big deal. Recover. Instant hit, recover. You instant recover and continue to attack, or allow the person to come in to think that you are not prepared for the attack. It's an entrapment move. The oldest martial art back in 500th century, they would do moves. It would look like they open, but it would be an arm break move or a leg break move. And they would get in the stand. We used to call them, as kids when we didn't know no better, as teenage, young teenager, stupid move. And people fell for them. Such as walk out there, go, whoosh, oh man, all that open. No, it's not. That's an entrapment move. You must learn how to fall. You must learn how to fall. You live in Illinois? Come see me. I will teach you how to fall. I will teach you how to not stop fighting in your mind. I will teach you how to have your mind to continue to fight. Now, this is where your mind are. If your mind knows how to fall, if your mind knows how to switch your body, if your mind knows the entrapment technique, your mind automatically won't stop fighting. It keeps on fighting automatically. But when you have not put in your database in that empty space of being swept or being thrown, you don't have nothing there, your mind stops because there's nothing there. It's not supposed to do anything. It does exactly what you programmed it to do. Stop and do nothing. And wait till I hit the ground and see what he's going to do. No, you're supposed to be constantly attacking. You instant goes on defense, attack, and attack. Defense, then you switch right back into offense. Defense, you switch right back into offense. Again, I'm fighting. Man, sweep both legs. Those is defense. I put myself ready for a sweep. I can sweep from this position, or I can kick. If you're a man that's hungry for my head, he's coming from my head. Then I should bring my knees to my chest. Let him come and release a Gato to the body or to the face. If you're not an accurate kicker, you want the body. No offense, but if you shoot it in the chest right with a snap, you're going to stop the heart. Whether it's permanently or temporarily, he's going to go unconscious with that one kick. His entire body, he weighing 150, he weighing 180, he weighing 220. It's being dropped. 220 is being dropped. You hitting 220 in the chest. That's just like 300 pounds of pressure just got knocked in the chest with 300 pounds of pressure, because his pressure combined with your kick triple the pressure. And all you have to do is hit and take your foot off. The fight is over. You must learn. You must learn to recover. You must learn to recover and learn how to fall. You cannot recover if you do not know how to fall. You cannot have your mind to continue to fight it unless you know how to fall. My friends, MMA, UFC, and all other down fighting martial arts, I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ. Whoosh! Where I am, the one and only Matthew James Glasper. I have over 47 years of training, over 47 years of teaching. If you count my hours of my study and remove the years and use the hours instead of the years, I will have over 80 years if you use the hours of training in the martial art. Look me up, You're in the Illinois area, you need to learn how to fall, you need to know how to counter, you need to look me up. For I am the one and only Matthew Jane Glasper, founder of Holy Take Karate and King and Queen Corporation, number 3 on the planet, from the 70s to the 90s. Never was defeated from it. I walked away for the sake of the ministry. Learned it, came back, incorporated into teaching the martial art to make a difference in a man and a woman, children, girls, and boys' life. God bless you. Talk to you later. See how y'all managed to always miss out because you're too busy playing, doing stuff.